Hi, Mom.
Hi, Megan.
Welcome to Sacred Soul Mornings, everybody. Again, finally. We had to take a big mental health break, I think.
Yeah, we had to take a few minutes and
Through minutes, through months, no, weeks.
we're, we're back.
We're
And
back
it's
at
good.
Tao Te Ching. Yeah,
We still talked about it and had still did our talks. We just didn't have time to record anything like
true.
this.
We needed to hibernate on some thoughts too, probably.
Yeah.
So we're in chapter 25. We're going week. We're not, we were going week by week with chapter, but now it's kind of not. But we are going chapter by chapter, thinking about how it applies to our life in a
Yes.
very normal Southern women way, even though I live in the North, and how Western and Eastern kind of mesh and combine, and we do that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what we're doing.
So your translation, as always, is a tiny bit more easy to understand than mine. Mine's more like,
Poetic. Yeah.
yeah, and yours is more words. How about that? So we might
Times.
want to read them. Sometimes
Yes. Sometimes
yours
mine's
has a
more.
more Western leaning. How about
Yes.
that? So
Yeah.
sometimes mine, I get stuck on the words because it's just so like literal that I can't grasp it. Yeah.
My skeleton, my foundation or whatever that I'm using, and then branch off to other things. It was put together by William Martin. I just want to say
Yeah.
that
And I
again.
think it's nice.
Yeah, I think he lives in Arizona. I'm not sure. So just think.
Probably does where everybody else who's happy lives, right?
Could
I
be.
think that's where the Tai Chi guy lives now is in Arizona. And I think all the artists live in Arizona, right?
Okay.
Everybody's having a
There must
blast
be
up there.
reasons.
I don't know. I'm not there. Okay, so chapter 25 is nature, the so of itself. What's your name of yours?
So the so when you, it's S-O, the
S-O.
so of yourself, the so of yourself. So it is, I'm thinking of trying to make sense of that. It is so. That means it is. It the so, let's say it again. Your title.
The so of itself.
Yeah.
I had not thought about that, but you mean the container of self, the so of? I don't know that the historical thoughts of that word.
Or is it like now I'm going to some things that we talked about earlier about this chapter, but also about um, Taoism, that the being and the non-being, or the being and the
It's just
non-being.
everything. It's
It's
everything. I
everything.
mean, once you get reading into this, that's what this chapter is a great reminder of. It is everything. We go back to like the beginning. It's like the creation story of the Taoist belief. And I'm not going to go down my path of ist and isms right now. We can do that later. So,
Okay.
in
Oh,
yours, do you want to read yours first, please?
my title is Our True Home. And this kind of meshes with how we were raised in Southern fundamentalism, that when you die, you go back home. And I can remember thinking about that, growing up, and I'm thinking, okay, is it heaven or is it home? Meaning, like, there had to be a grand, something more than what we were being taught. There had to be something.
So your logical minded, pattern brained neurology when you were a child was art. My light went out again. What is up with that? Every time we do the Tao Te Ching, the light goes out. So you get to look at me without light. um, your logical brained, analytical, pattern finding person. That's your neurology because I know you and it's wonderful. But you already realized that that didn't make sense when you were sitting in
Mhm.
church and they were going, go back home. Wait a minute. Returning to what? Wait a minute. I haven't been there
Yeah.
before. Hold on.
Yep.
That's not the same.
hmm
You figured out
hmm
that there was something. And so, like, in the idea that Lao Tzu wrote, is that we go back to source.
Let's see
Everything
what
converges back and forth. And so
probably so.
it would be so much better if I could show that visually. But let's continue. I could show that chart visually.
Oh, yeah, it would be
I'll
good.
show
You
it later,
can,
maybe.
yeah,
It's
do that.
copyrighted.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It's probably not. Go ahead. You tell what
Now
the
go ahead and be
chapter
careful.
says. No.
This path we follow existed before the universe was born. Before the universe was born. When I talk about how big something is, that's what I mean. I mean,
Bigger
endless.
than the beginning of the beginning. So we're pre-Genesis. Mm.
It
Okay.
contains within itself unchanging tranquility and solitude. And this is what, when I think about, it's bigger than what I was taught. And the comfort is just some sense of knowing that there's unlimited tranquility and
Mm.
solitude. It is present wherever we turn now in the present and provides inexhaustible compassion to all beings. Thus, it may be considered the mother of the universe. It has no name, but if we have to refer to it, we call it Tao.
The way.
The way.
I mean, if you have to come up with a name. And so
Yeah.
in English, I don't know what we would have just been like the stuff. I don't know. The ethers. I don't know. It really, the way is just the pattern of how things are. So when we were talking about like what that means earlier on in the book, it's what is physical and what's not. It's all potential not. It's everything. It's everything. And it's hard to think of that concept until you can move past the idea that there's more than tangible.
Yeah.
But I told this to someone this weekend about binary code. I said, you could think of it this way. It's all the ones and the zeros. That's it. Ones being physical, zeros being not.
Mm.
And so the way me as an artist thinks of my art in binary code, in some ways, I am not at all a math person, but have a very balanced positive and negative space.
Mhm.
It is the ones and the zeros. Anyway, what
Everything.
else? What else you got in there?
And it can also be called the great mystery from which we come, in which we live. So, from which we come, from which we live now in the physical, and to which we return. It is a path filled with the grandeur of the cosmos, the earth, and the human heart. So, talking about the cosmos and then earth, and then even our human heart. The path is our true home because it is home to all things in heaven and on earth, that's the Western bent right there. But anyway, this I just want to make a connection
Please.
that this morning when I'm trying to get a phone call right now, it's distracting my brain. Sorry. This morning when I went to my fitness class. And there's music and there's camaraderie, and people will say frequently, this group of women will say, I'm so glad I'm doing this. I come for the physical activity. I enjoy the music. I enjoy the movements. But what I really like is you all, and that kind of thing. So there is this common feeling. Anyway, while we were doing our workout and we were doing one that kind of required concentration with movement and there was music and all, there was a little glimmer inside of me. And I can't really recapture it right now, but I can remember thinking, I want to try to recapture it later of this, of
Connection.
being, of being so, so of not just being Marsha, and not just being physical on this earth, but this part that goes back home.
Mm.
From
Well,
the
yeah.
beginning,
And so you were able to find that in a physical exercise
just for a
with other
bit,
people. And maybe you're carrying their intentions towards that
maybe.
or whatever. But people have a history of doing this through physical exercises sometimes. I think of, I've just been reading whatever. I've been reading about whatever people who use denial of the senses in their spiritual practice, historically, to find who they are beyond the ego, who they are beyond the flesh. You might see people, the videos of people like scourging themselves or something in India or somewhere, and you're like, why would you ever do that? For the purpose behind the fasting and behind the meditation and behind the pain, controlled pain, is to be able to separate self from that so that you can ideally find who you are. However, that's not the end of the journey either. but that is one of the ways. And so like what we were even reading in oh my goodness, help me, the book, The Golden Flower. The book that was written right a few years after. Thank you. Yeah, but Edgar Casey's interpretation on it. But I mean, there's many. You can read Carl Jung.
Yeah.
It's just the one with Edgar Casey. If someone can tolerate the fact that it has Edgar Casey in it and don't go ick, because he's an okay person, probably. I don't know. But some people have very big reactions. It might be easier to understand. And they do a commentary on the Jung one. So it's like layers of commentary. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, I don't speak Chinese and I can't read it. So we have to deal with these translations. Anyway, and in their practice of trying to master this reversal of breathing, this energy reversal that comes in one way, through the first breath when the spirit enters body, and the reversal of it is they're trying to also figure out who they are underneath and to sustain that so that we can overcome the cycles of probably coming back and forth and whatever. I have many thoughts on that. But there's a physical practice.
Mhm.
Like you did a physical practice this morning and it was in your exercise class. It wasn't in yoga. It was just
Mhm.
exercise class, right? It might
Mhm.
be in Tai Chi. It might be in labyrinth walking. It might be just in walking. It might be in I'm so physically sick that my body is failing me and I have to dissociate.
Mhm.
I think my ability to tap into that probably happened in my early 20s, where I was in such a sickened state. First of all, my
Mhm.
body was sick because I was eating foods I didn't know I had an intolerance to, like really
Right.
sick. And then also in a very oppressive situation.
Mhm.
And so I spent a lot of time leaving the body to withstand the situation. If you're
Mhm.
stuck in a room, you might have to
Yeah.
leave your body. I don't mean like in a woo-woo way. I mean, kind of. I don't know. But I was able to tap in through that. So that's kind of a pain that helps you separate. Anyway, I was
Mhm.
going to say too with your exercise class, the positive thing is that you guys, you were tuned into the same frequency, but you were also resonating with each other because you're
Mhm.
mirroring each other. And when we can mirror each other, that helps us know that we are all part of the same.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
what we want more than anything. That's why we desire to have romantic relationships. So we want somebody to go, I see you. We're the same. That's what that is, ideally. Um, ideally. But that's the natural thing. And so, do you have more in your version? More, or was that the end of your version? I can't tell.
Well, that's the end of, but then there's other little part here. Let me just go ahead and do that. It's short.
It's okay. I'm looking at my
Um,
food. I'm withstanding my food right now.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Now
Need
I
to
just
move
got
it.
hunger pains.
I'm
Go ahead
good.
and take a bite while
For
I'm
sure.
eating.
No, no one needs to watch me eat my Slurpee glass noodles. Go ahead.
Our practice will never, oh, we were talking about things that were practices or not practices. But anyway,
I know that's my ism
Martin,
thing. That's my
okay,
tangent. I'm gonna try
okay.
not to be too much right now. Go ahead.
Our practice will never set us apart from any other being.
Mhm.
We affirm that all living beings are being led in their own way along this path. That's interesting to think about.
Mhm.
This
Mhm.
affirmation is contrary to the habit we all have of assuring ourselves we are going in the right direction by seeing how others are going in the wrong direction. So, who do you set apart as them, wrong, ignorant, or deluded? Sorry, because we've been, it's easy
I
to
know we
repeat.
were on the bad side for a
How
while.
does how does this affect your experience of life? And then ends with, there is no them, only us. Right now, I'm sorry, but I'm just thinking of the political world right now
Well, I mean,
myself.
but we were on the bad side for a while, even though we were good people. Our voting, not in the past 20 years, okay? Nobody get a wrong idea. I didn't
Yeah.
vote, whatever.
Okay.
Um, But, it's easy to say I am good because you are bad. That's it. That's the source of it. Anyway, politics aside, I want to go
Okay.
back to my interpretation that's more literal and then what I know for myself. Mhm.
Okay.
And so I think the parallels at the very beginning when we talk about there's something before heaven and earth, right? And it's everything, but it's without form. Where do we hear that? Genesis, right?
Mhm.
It was formless. It had no form. in the beginning. Mhm.
Yeah.
And then what happened? It divided.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And so then, if we have our so I can share I'm going to share my picture. Is that okay? I don't know. Mhm. So my Tai Chi teacher gave me this picture and she got it from other people and it's just a picture.
So along the side of that paper, it probably tells where it comes from.
I know it does. That's why I don't know. I
That's
mean,
what
we've
I
got like
mean. That's
20
giving.
people that watch it. But yeah, but it's not available on their website. So this is the Tao, the Taoist vision of the universe, but it is common knowledge. Okay, so everything starts out with nothing. You see the picture, Mom? Is it
I
showing?
do. I
Everything's,
see it.
yeah, nothing. And then your awareness of self. So in the book Siddhartha, which I'm reading right now, there's a nice little break in that book where it talks about himself in the third person. Third person, third person, third person, third person. Then all of a sudden there's this little chapter of I. And I thought, oh, you smart author. Mhm. I.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. And anyway, that's in so many practices. And so in the idea of the Bible or the idea of this, the Tao, is that you're aware of self,
Mhm.
consciousness. The all is aware of it.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then the duality splits so that we can engage in it. Not in good and bad, not in male and female necessarily, but it is the opposites because without love, you can't have fear. Without anything, you can't have whatever. That's the one and the zeros. And then it moves. And then it
Mhm.
moves. That's that balancing. And I like to tell you all the time, I say this all the time. I'm like, Mom, it's impartial though. The balancing is impartial, which
Mhm.
hurts us because we
Mhm.
like to get out there and go, even now,
Mhm.
obviously, that's a bad guy. We know he's a bad guy because I can't
Mhm.
even believe he did what he did to that person, people, countries.
Mhm.
He's so bad. How did he do that? But it's impartial and we're all part of the whole.
Mhm.
And so the balancing is impartial too.
Mhm.
And so we can say, I forgive you, not because they're good, not
Mhm.
because they earned it, but because we just recognize that they have literally no idea what they're doing. And we're
Mhm.
all part of the same balancing. Anyway, and then we spin out more and more and more into the myriad of things, which is where we are now, where we've spun out so far, like a centrifuge, where we don't see that we are the same tree. The branches over here and the branches over there. We're so far out that we don't think the branches are connected anymore, and
Mhm.
we're our own entities. That's all. I want
Very
to show you. So
thank
in
you.
this chapter, in mine, it says, the beginning is it's without form, it's alone, unchanging, roaming far and wide, never perishing. Roaming far and wide, who said that? Einstein, the universe is ever expanding. It's the mother of all. I do not know its true name, so we just gotta make up a name if we have to. The Tao. I call it great. It passes on into the distance. It is distant, expansive, ever expansive. We keep growing and keep centrifuging out. Um, but then it returns. It
Mhm.
returns on the grand scale, but it also returns on the small scale ourselves. We do this all day, every day. The waves do it, the moon does it with pulling on the waves. We create and then we hibernate. The seasons do it. So if there's something yucky, we should know it's going to pass because it's only for a season.
Mhm.
There's huge comfort in that, hypothetically, unless you think that this lifetime right here for you is it.
Mhm.
If you feel like there's nothing else connected besides you being important right here in this little 99 years or whatever you got, then it becomes really unbearable and you get scared.
Mhm.
So then it says, then it returns, the Tao is great, heaven is great, earth is great, the king is great. In that order, we have the Tao, and then we have the heaven, then we have the earth, and then we have humans. The king is great. Um, in the regions of the world, these are the four great things. The king of man is among that. So humans are a part of it.
Mhm.
Hold on, I don't know what happened. Am I still on the screen talking
Yes.
something?
Yes.
Um, and we learn too, though, that this kind of a king models himself on earth, earth on heaven, heaven on the Tao, and the Tao models itself on nature and so of itself. So it doesn't mean king because I say I am a king. It means the kind of ruler that is non-forceful, that
Mhm.
operates under the flow.
Yeah.
And I would even say right now,
Oh,
which is
pause.
controversial, what?
You
Am I gone?
There was a little, no, you're back, but it glitched a little bit. Go ahead.
Well, we only got 10 minutes left, but I would even say right now that mm, the umbrella of what is it called? The umbrella of mm,
Protection of,
mhm. Oh, what is that called? Hierarchy. The
mhm,
Christian concept of hierarchy in the fundamentalist groups. There's a fabulous chart they'd stick on the board, they stick an umbrella, and it would be in that order, right? And they got that from the Bible in theory, but that was a very literal understanding of the Bible without any type of the historical understanding of where Jesus was in history with other
mhm,
beliefs. In that, we have what? God, and then
mhm.
under that,
Jesus.
male, Jesus, yeah,
Oh.
God, Jesus, God, Tao, Jesus, awareness of self, possibly. I'm just making it up.
Mhm,
Male, female, the movement, though, it's not male, female, and then the myriad, the procreation, the children. It's the same. It doesn't mean that men rule over women and kings rule over other people, and it's the same story.
mhm. But
And
that,
so
in
these,
contrast to how we were taught
I know,
about.
but you know what? These stories are exactly the same. You come to the same
Yeah.
root no matter where you are. If you read
Mhm,
Rumi, who's Islamic, Rumi has the same idea. If you read the writer of Siddhartha in German, same idea. If you read the original things about Buddha, same idea. If you have the Tao, which is before all that, same idea. It's the same idea. Esoteric mysticism with Jesus, same idea. You could sit in a room by yourself and be by yourself and come up with the same idea. That's the point. And so when you find resonance with the same idea throughout everything, it makes you wonder. But then the isms come in, the
Okay.
anities. And so even Tao turned into Taoism. Even though Lao Tzu, you read his writing, he's like, well, here it is, but you don't have to do it or don't, and whatever. Lao Tzu said that. Or Buddhism. Buddha was like, do it, whatever you feel like. And then it turned into a Buddhism. Jesus, it's within all the stuff. You can do it. You don't have to do it. Jesus's words. And it turned into Christianity, the study of it with tenets. But you can't arrive at any of this stuff by work, by your hands.
Mhm.
It's a very internal thing.
Yes. And you have to be still sometimes.
The hands can't do it. Logic
Yeah.
can't do it. Work can't. You can't do it through work. So you can go and try and meditate about trying to have your breathing pattern backwards and everything for forever, and it may not come to you. Or it might. Or maybe we're all missing the boat and just need mushrooms. I don't know. Never done it. Next chapter.
Yes.
All right. Do you
I guess
find
I'm,
peace? I found peace in that.
yeah. And just thinking that, when you were saying you can't do it by your hands, and sometimes it's the hard things in life that gives us glimmers.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Well, you know that
uncomfortable.
Tao loves to do that. That's the balancing that's impartial. It loves to make us pay attention by some good balancing hard stuff. But it's impartial. It's not, there's no source out there that's saying, okay, now I'm going to help teach you do this.
Mhm.
It's not like that. It's like you're part of it and you're going to figure out how to balance that in your life on a grand scale and on a small scale.
Mhm.
If you
And
keep
you,
running from it, you're miserable.
mhm. Yeah.
But people do, you said, we said this earlier when we were talking, people don't like that authenticity, really. You want it, but if you're not at the same level of authenticity, it feels unnerving.
Yeah. I was mentioning about Wayne Jacobson talking about clean pain and dirty pain.
Yeah.
And I know we're about done, but clean pain leans toward being quiet healing and provides a settled calm. And someone who is settled and calm goes into a room of people talking about whatever, all this stuff going on around the world about and upset, or even in a church, I can't believe all those people out there and blah, 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 blah.
Even if it seems righteous.
So
But
that,
its
but a,
energy is wrong. Yeah.
but a calm, settled person going in there, nobody likes that person.
Yeah, and sometimes they even do what to that person?
Turn their back on them.
Not just, yeah, okay, yeah, we experienced that one. Literally turning the back in the Walmart and in the church. But I mean, sometimes they put them on crosses.
And sometimes they do that. Yes.
Yeah.
True.
Mm. Okay. Chapter 26. Mine's called Gravity and Calm.
Oh, I like that.
Cool. What's yours?
Mine is why scurry about?
What in the world? Okay. Well, I guess you're not scurrying if you got some gravity attached to you and you're
Calm.
held down by the gravities. Put
Why
what is
scurry
that?
about?
And that's not the verse. We will not put millstones around their necks. That's not it. If you had a millstone around your neck, you would not be scurrying. But that's not it. Okay, well, that was Sacred Soul Mornings. We're going to try to get back into being more
Yes.
regular with this.
Thank you, Megan.
Yes, thanks, Mom. Always. It's a wonderful journey, and it does bring peace in this time of
Yes.
tumult,
Yep.
impossible society level anguish. We're just learning how to tolerate the suffering that is expected of being in the world,
Mhm.
way that mitigates it.
But it's like that moving.
Yeah, so all nothing's out of control, things are balancing. It just may not be fun living in it at the time without some anchor. And thankfully, we have breadcrumbs from other people who've lived through some other times, so we can learn from their anchoring. Uh, yeah. Mhm. Okay. Well, life is a journey and not a checklist, so enjoy the ride.
Thank you, Megan. See you
Bye.
next time. Bye.